Hi, this is Rich McNutt, the author of Hunter's Choices. I have had hunters feel guilty about leaving meat in the freezer. Personally, I do not understand the hows involved in a printed recipe. I needed to be shown how to cook. So this cooking series really is for me. I have discovered that after I try a recipe several times, it turned out much better. Hunt smart by choice and good cooking. If you are like me and only have a few good wild game recipes, this show is for you. You won't believe how great you can cook wild game. Hi, I'm Rich from the Wild Things Show, Cooking Wild Game. And I'm with Big Mack Sherman from the Outdoor Domain. And Mack was a chuck wagon chef for many years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the rumor is you're pretty good at it.
Well, I never got fired, but I had a lot of hungry people, so if you're hungry, you do a pretty good job.
But that's a little bonus. When they're hungry, they don't complain much, do they?
And invite them to eat at 7 and feed them at 8, and everybody's happy because they're hungry.
Well, you know, I was asking around about you a little bit, and I got a lot of volunteers to come down here and try out the food.
Well, I noticed nobody volunteered to come help cook.
Yeah.
They're all ready to come try it, but nobody wants to come help cook.
So we're in the plains of Texas?
Yes, sir. South Plains.
South Plains of Texas. And what are we in this episode? What are we doing?
Well, a little bit of everything. We have a huge flyaway for the sandhill crane, and so I have a freezer full of sandhill crane, and they call it the ribeye of the skies. Well, that's a little bit of a stretch, but it is pretty good, pretty edible. So we're going to do a couple of different recipes with some sandhill crane. And you are in Texas, so we're going to cook some calf fries. Some people call them mountain oysters. For those that don't have a clue about what we're talking about bull testicles. We're going to cook some of those today too while we're in the kitchen.
That was my favorite prank. The Easters.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When they come hunting, is feed them some oysters.
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. Well, okay, we'll let you get started here then, and we'll cook up some.
All right, sounds good. Done a couple of cooking segments for Rich so far, and he comes down to Texas, and I tell him we've done sandhill crane, we've done some deer, and we've done some wild boar. But if you come to Texas, you have to cook calf fries, and calf fries are known as mountain oysters, or several names. If you're not familiar with what a calf fry is, it is bull testicle. And we've tricked a few people into eating them, and we've had a lot of fun with them over the years. And it's not really something that we do to trick people with and to have, just to fool them. They're really a delicacy. So I'm going to prepare some. I'm going to show you how to prep some today. Very simple thing to cook, but there is a process that you have to follow, and you have to do it correctly, or the calf fries will be a disappointment to people you're feeding them to. So we're gonna work on that today. Take just a minute to prep some up. Now, the secret to cleaning calf fries is you clean the bulk of it off when you cut the animal, castrate the animal, and you get down to a frozen, we call it a frozen nut, and I keep them in a frozen block. And you never thaw these out completely. You never thaw them until you go to the hot grease. I'll show you why here in just a minute. There's a process to cleaning these, and they will not hard to clean if they get very thawed and mushy, so you do them in a frozen state where they just barely froze. I'm going to take this block, and I broke one off, and we just simply score the skin all the way around, put a thumbnail under, and then roll it out. And it will roll out and be a nice, clean little nut. And then we take that and we do, I call them silver dollars. You just cut them into silver dollars. Now all this has to be done while they're partially froze. If they thaw out, they will get so mushy and the consistency will be so soft that you can't get this done. And then you take this, and all I have here is a bowl of half buttermilk, half milk. Anything that you want to soak them in, just throw them in there. This is more just to keep them separated, keep them cool. And then I have a seasoned flour. This is half cornmeal, half all-purpose flour with a lot of garlic salt, black pepper, just like for any of the fish preps that you can get in the store. The Cajun fish meal prep is a great thing to use on these. And you just roll them, and just like you'd batter fish or anything else, put a light batter on them. And then you wind up with your battered fries, just like this. And here in just a minute, we're going to go to the hot grease right out of here. And these are really, really a delicacy to eat. And I'm not trying to fool anybody on camera or trick anybody. We eat them ourselves, and we eat a lot of them. We have a lot of them here. We're in feedlot country where we may have 10 or 12, 30,000 heads sometimes on feed in a feedlot, these people around. So they cut all those into steers, and then we take these calf fries and we have calf fry parties. I guess down on the coast they fry fish, and here we fry calf fries. So we're going to throw these in some hot oil a little bit, and they'll go along with our other meal that we have prepared today. We went through the process inside where we prepped them earlier today, and I showed you how important it was to clean those while they're froze, a little bit froze, cut them into nice medallions. And we've done all that earlier. We've seasoned our flour, and that's all on film earlier. Now we're going to go to the cooking process, and we're going to do them in a little deep fryer. And I fry pretty hot, 350 to 425, and we're going to turn this up a minute and get the heat really going to it. But Rich and I were talking off film a while ago about the trouble that people get into with deep frying, and a lot of trouble such as frying a turkey. You've seen the huge explosions on turkey that happen, catch fire. Well, a lot of that has to do with maybe the fire's a little bit too hot, but as much as anything, they've got a little bit of ice or something left in that meat, whether it's a turkey or fish, or you try to drop frozen fish in a cooker. Well, water boils at 212, and that's what ice is water. So when you drop that 212 boiling point ice into 350 degree oil, it basically explodes. And so if you're going to be doing any deep frying, be sure and thaw that meat out, whether it's fish or turkey or whatever it is. Thaw it completely out with no frozen spots, and then be sure to get the ice and all the water out of it before you dip it down in that hot oil. There's been many people burned by dumping a turkey into hot oil, and that cavity just basically shoots that hot oil up into there right into the chest of the guy that's dropping the turkey in. So with just a few precautions on cooking, anytime you're cooking with hot oil, it's a danger. Nothing to be afraid of. Just be sure that you have all your ice and all your water, no frozen meat, anything that has any ice crystals or water in it, because that's what basically creates an explosion in the oil. And Rich asked me what I like. I like to use peanut oil when I have a choice. A couple of reasons: it has a little higher flash point than regular cooking oil. Lard has a very low flash point, so if you're cooking with lard and you get it too hot, you're more likely to have a fire than you are with something like peanut oil. Vegetable oil is next up the ladder. Vegetable oil is good to use. Its flash point's a little bit cooler than peanut oil, so it will flash and burn a little quicker than peanut oil. And peanut oil is my favorite. It's at the top of the list. So I'm going to add a little oil to this, and we're going to get the burner going, and I'm going to get those calf fries, and we're going to fry those up, and we're going to have them with some beer batter bread that we made earlier. And me and Rich are going to eat again. We eat again about every 2 hours. Me and Rich stop and eat something. So we're going to have some calf fries and beer bread here in just a little bit. We're going to add a little oil to this, and you don't need a whole lot of oil when you're cooking, just enough to barely cover the meat product that you're cooking. So don't waste oil. Don't use more than you need, and it's easier to clean up, makes less of a mess anyway. So we're going to let this heat up just a little bit, and then we're going to throw the calf fries in. thermometer is the best way to find your temperature. Now there's an old trick, the old housewife trick. Take a little pinch of your dry flour and drop it in, and when it bubbles, as soon as it starts frying that cornmeal, well then you know you're at the right temperature, and you back it off and you hold it at that temperature right there. Best thing would be to get a thermometer, drop in there, and keep it around. I don't like to cook too cool. Around 350 degrees is about the perfect temp. So we're gonna let this get up to temp and we'll be ready to go. All right, Rich, this is the moment we've been waiting for. The beer bread is done. Thanks to my lovely assistant wife, she helped me out a little bit with this. But we make these little muffins. They have a real nice chewy crust outside. And we're fixing to have these with some butter and a little honey and jelly. This is the real easy beer bread that we made earlier. It's just self-rising flour, a little sugar. And these are pretty addicting. You want to try one?
I want to try one of them now.
All right. Break that open and try it.
Nice and warm. Yeah.
Just break it right open.
Almost too warm for me.
Really good heavy bread. I love it.
That's really good.
It is good.
Really simple.
I keep telling you over and over again, I'm a very simple person. You may have figured that out by now, but I'm pretty simple. But it's really, really a good bread. I like it better than any other bread that we make it.
You know, I've been saying this all the way along, guys. You learn to cook a little bit, and everybody's going to be bugging you to be hunting more. So that's quite a price to pay to learn how to cook and you go hunt more.
And we're fixing to sit and have some of this. This is our dessert. We're going to have this with a little butter and jelly and honey, and then we're going to have a few calf fries to help wash that down. So looks good.
There's hardly no beer flavor at all.
No,
so
it's just really good.
I assume you change the beer and you change the flavor.
Yes, sir. Mike, it just makes a nice crust. It's really good bread. I love it. Yeah, we're just a little. I'm going to start here just about 2 minutes on that. If it doesn't bubble, that batter doesn't set. Okay, we're going to start in on our calf fries now. And it's going to make a little noise. It's going to be a little hard to talk over, but we're just going to drop some calf fries in here and get this going. Visiting with Rich about what kind of pan this is. This is actually what they call a chicharrone pan or a pork skin pan, and they sell these at every little grocery store in our area. We have a really strong Hispanic influence, and they'll deep fry in this middle, and they'll drag those chicharrones out and put them up on the edge as they get done, and then they'll drain, and they'll just keep adding more chicharrones, and they'll pull off here. Chicharrones are pork skin, and so they'll just keep on going round, they'll just fry all day until they're all gone. And I eat a lot of pork skins. We in this area, it's really a good thing. Now we're cooking these calf fries, and they're just about done. When they start floating on their own, kind of like fish, once they start floating on their own, they're ready to come out. We'll stack them around the edge just like we do chicharrones, and we'll eat some of these. Now I make a sauce that goes on these, and it's one part horseradish and 1 part ketchup. Just stir that together. It makes a really nice dip for these calf fries to go in. Now you don't ever want to overload your fries. You want to leave plenty of room. Give these things room to swim, and that way when everything, see, I have one here that's not come to the top yet. When it rises to the top and floats on its own, I'll know that everything in this pan is ready to come out. And I kind of do like the old donut flip, and I'll flip them over once if they come to the top. Just kind of keep them stirred. But that's a secret to frying correctly too. Don't overload your pan. Just let it do the work. So I'll start scooping these up onto the edge. Some of these that are floating nice. It doesn't matter if you get a little grease up there with them, because that's the glory of this pan. It's just self-draining pan, drains right back down into it. So these are great for frying fish. There is a method to cooking calf fries that they call popcorning, but that's done when we're branded dragging calves, and we'll just take the nut right off the calf, and we'll throw it without cleaning that membrane off. We'll throw it on a hot branding fire, and it'll pop just like popcorn. In fact, it looks just like popcorn. It's just a kernel. It just pops right out into the popcorn. We'll eat them right there off the branding fire. Not quite as good as this, but when you're out branding, it's not a bad deal. That's called popcorning. And then once again, you see why I like this pan. I have those going. Everything's good. There's some spoon right here. And I can just reload the grease and keep on going. Just keep dragging them out the side. Your food doesn't get cold. Everything stays hot. The grease drains out nice. So this is a lot better than just a regular old traditional deep frying basket. Okay, the batter is just half part or 1 part cornmeal and 1 part all-purpose flour. And I put a little garlic salt, black pepper in there and dust it on there. I put the calf fries after I cleaned them. If you look back on the video, I put them in some half buttermilk, half milk just to set until I got ready to batter them. Then I just roll them in the cornmeal flour mixture and then go straight to the hot oil with them. And we're going to try them in a minute. See what everybody thinks of these. In Texas, there's a couple things you have to have. You either have to eat brisket or calf fries every time you come to Texas. So I didn't have any brisket going today, so we're doing some calf fries. If I have a big crowd over, I can't cook calf fries fast enough. Usually we'll have 4 or 5 of these fryers going. Normally when we call it a calf fry, just like you call it a fish fry up north. We'll have a calf fry. And we'll have 20, 30 people come over, and basically we eat white bread and that's all. Just a piece of slice of white bread with a calf fry, and then we make a dipping sauce that's, like I said, it's half horseradish and half ketchup, and we just go to town on them. That's all we eat that day. And this usually happens when somebody orders a set of cattle in to go out on grass or wheat. Well, the crew will show up and work the calves, and then we bring the calf fries back to someone's house, and that's where we have the party that night. I guess this is what you'd call a Texas fish fry, because this is what we do instead of fry fish.
Well, I'm Rich from the Wild Things Show, Cooking Wild Game, and I'm with Mack Sherman in the South Plains of Texas.
That's correct.
And we have here beer bread and cat fries. Now this isn't kitty cat fries.
Nope. We have some big cats around here.
Where I come from, this is one of my favorite jokes. This is Rocky Mountain Oysters. So I had a lot of Easterners go elk hunting with me, and we'd go out for dinner, and I said, well, you have to have Rocky Mountain Oysters while you're here. So I got some guys that won't talk to me anymore because they ate Rocky Mountain Oysters. But they're actually quite good.
Oh, they're good. They're really good.
Now that's a real unique batter. That's good.
And we make a sauce for them that's half horseradish and half ketchup, and we dip them in that. I don't have any of that prepared, but that's a really good sauce to go with these. That little beer bread, and that's a meal all in its own.
Yeah, and we have beer bread over here, and they did it in a muffin tin. And I'm with you. I like the extra crust on the beer bread in the muffin tin.
Yeah, you bet.
You won't believe how great you can cook wild game by watching our professional chefs. You won't believe how great you can cook wild game by watching our professional chefs. Now with 100 plus episodes. For $6, get the best online wild game cooking show you will ever find. Visit www.vimeo.com/on-demand/cooking-wild-game. Enjoy!